All right, you're only 6 minutes after 3 o'clock on Java FM. My name is DJ MaOsh, Olwethu Ndabankulu. Slap afternoon drive at Java FM, exactly. I was expecting Barbara to be in soon, but it seems like she's also on the way. But okay, it's fine. You'll find me on the street of Slapa Keorganjan. I'm not alone, guys. I'm not alone as promised. I'm not alone. Hey, guys. Yay. I think I'm not sure when such Kappie was doing interview, because always used to send students here, but today is there, and I hear that is have something new on his name. Is it WO Warrant?
Yeah.
Hey, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that. And it's MMC. Hey, 𝐂𝐿, because I saw the cameras and that you taking all the footage on the street. There's a big man always come on radio, and this guy, it seems like, is always demanding things when people are struggling to give the information. But okay, we're not them. Okay, let's start from Mossel Kapp. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Olwethu, and good afternoon to the listeners. Nice to be here with you guys.
Yes, welcome to Java FM. Mossel Kapp, can you perhaps find us with on the crime statistics that you were shared for the district at the media conference? Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, DJ MaOsh. We were in George, and it was quite historical because the General Chichana, we felt that they needed to speak to the community with regards to the crime statistics in the area, and because it was such a positive report amongst all the stations, amongst all the districts in the Western Cape. The Garden District is actually shown a decrease in all the serious crimes, and where there were serious crimes, there was arrest was made, a lot of successes, and we are so proud to announce that the stuff that was problematic, like contact crimes, your assaults and your robberies, those got a huge knock because of the efforts of the police and the partners of the police. The thing that is really worrying the General, though, was the fact that our commercial crimes went up, meaning all the fraud cases. There were so many fraud cases going around, and we want to just to emphasize this, that people should be very careful. There's a lot of guys out there who is exploiting our people, and they're using all our people's good faith. They're using that against them just to exploit them even more. Our people are working hard for their money, and at the end of the day, these guys come in and they rob them of their money. And that is one of the main concerns that was shown out. But all in all, let me say, Olwethu, that we can say that we are on the right track, working with the community, working with everybody together to decrease the crime and to take crime out of our communities.
Okay, what does the situation in Mossel Bay look like?
Oh, in Mossel Bay, you see, that is why we are here today. I can even say that we are the supposed to be the benchmark, because we are doing things right in the Mossel Bay area, and especially with our partners, the municipality. Since 2004, the municipality was our first partner here in the 𝐂𝐻𝐿 area, especially in 𝐂𝐻𝐿. And in the Mossel Bay area, because of the efforts of the Joint Operations Center, which is the JOC, the K9 unit, the law enforcement of the municipality, everybody that's working together, and all our security partners in the security sector that's helping us to decrease our crime. And we are very proud to announce that we are also, even in 𝐂𝐻𝐿, where there was a huge problem with our murders, that we saw a decrease in that, and we are very proud because of the efforts of the members.
Hey, if I can go to Kappie, we beg and judge over Jalo again. And Niabana Niaku, Bango, Latini, Pulapo Trupin. I can only sense this dress in Atagachu. Can wear a right, so let me write a Mossel Bay. And Nizamwens in Donati and Inke. Funa Smith Samaso is the vacancy, Valorant is Nabba Takamascope. And one has selling up and so selling a cent again. Okay, because I put this in Kappie, Warrant Kappie. Can you tell us more about the collaboration between the SAPS and Mossel Bay Municipality?
Yes, thank you very much, Olwethu. I just wanted to emphasize that point again, that it is the police have a long time ago, they have recognized that through partnerships we can combat crime. We can't do this thing alone. We need the community, we need our partners. And our collaboration and our partnership with the municipality is a very special one. There's very clear roles for all these two partners. The police's role is very simple. We are investigating crime and we have to combat crime. We have to prevent crime. The municipality's role is to support us. And I can say that this municipality is really the benchmark for a lot of municipalities in the efforts that we're putting in. And I'm talking about people with vision like the MMC here today, Councillor van Dyk, in his vision for the town. We want people to come to our town, and we need to have collaborative efforts to keep our people safe. So it is a very special, a very effective partnership between the municipality and the South African Police Service, Mossel Bay Municipality and South African Police Service.
Okay, hopefully, I think I'm trying to make these questions to be more. You see, you can also finalize on the same number 2, because I want to know that Pisenyana. Hopefully, to which role?
Yeah, as I said, the police's role is to investigate crime and to prevent crime. That is our main priority. This is what we do. This is according to the Constitution. Constitutionally, we are prone to do that. And then the municipality's role is to support us. And we can say that has been fulfilled. The municipality has come out and they've helped us with visibility. They've helped us with the cameras that we see. They've helped us with the dog unit that is here. They've helped us so much with the visibility of Superintendent August's guys here that's with us today here. And when I say the visibility in the operations that we do, there were so many successes that we can talk about in SAPS, and we have to say it is due to the good collaboration and the good partnership between the municipality and the police that these successes has been seen in courts, it has been seen with the arrest in our communities. Olwethu, the truth is, crime will always be there, but we are putting a real effort in to safeguard our communities.
Okay, because it's the vice versa, we'll come this side and come that side.
Yes.
Allow me to go to MMC. Our mic is catching you already. Yeah, don't be worried. If you see that is buzzing in front of me, don't be worried, it's catching you. You see. Okay, MMC. We have spoken before about the Joint Operations Center. In short, and what role does the SAPS play in this center, and why are they there?
Olwethu, and good afternoon also to the listeners. It's a great privilege to be with you this afternoon. It's also great because ever since I've known Warrant Officer Kapp, we've never had a radio interview together. Do you know that? So it is great. So it's the first one for us today. So thank you so much for inviting us. You know, when you start talking policing, it's always a difficult and a suppressive type of topic to talk about. But it's also good to talk about it because such a lot of good things have been happening. So when you talk about the Joint Operations Centre per se, it's a centre that's only 3 years old. The municipality established that to make sure that it not only assists with crime, but that it assists with a range of other specific departments or let's call it provisions that we're trying to roll out within the community. So when we talk the Joint Operations Centre, people think that it's always a centre that you only establish in cases of emergencies or in cases of floods or in cases of disasters. And that's not true in the case of Mossel Bay. In the case of Mossel Bay, the foresight was there to bring in the right partners from the start to make sure that we take care of all the responsibilities. And so the relationship with the South African Police Service is one of the most prudent cardinal relationships that we will have and always cherish to go forward. So what we did is we signed a memorandum of understanding with the South African Police Service. They actually have 3 or 4 such MOUs in the country, of which Mossel Bay is one, where there is a police officer 24 hours a day 365 days a year, and that is quite appreciative because a lot of the complaints do not go to the stations at current, it comes directly to the Joint Operations Centre. So what a lot of people do not know, and I think this is important maybe to note, is that there's a specific dedicated number also for the police inside the Joint Operations Centre. So if you look at the relationship itself, it is cardinal which we have because, as Kappie has pointed out, there are distinct responsibilities. But maybe I should mention some of the partners in the Joint Operations Centre, and that assists the police and everybody else to, let's call it fluently or elegantly, move amongst the departments without effort. So first of all, you would have the fire department, you would have the call centre, you would have the South African Police Service that runs all 5 stations, and when I say 5, it includes 𝐓𝐀𝐋𝐊 within that specific area. Communication for the police is anything from Albertina to Plettenberg Bay. So we are trying to convince the General not only to have the 5 stations looked after, but 18 stations within the district. So that is just a little bit on the police. If we move across in the Joint Operations Centre, you will also have the Rhino Action Group. About 30% of all conservation is also handled out of the Joint Operations Centre for the Western Cape. They look after succulent plants, they look at trade and restrictive trade in terms of specific species like abalone, which I think you didn't know. And at night, that function is then fulfilled by law enforcement and the police itself, so they play a valuable role. There's contact with the disaster management centres of 6 other municipalities, which is important, and the district centre. What people don't also know is that every 12 hours the Joint Operations Centre sends information through to the DOCC, which is the District Operating Command Centre, where all stats are given to the General every 12 hours. We then move across to the kiosk where we have the provincial traffic and municipal traffic. And then we have the CCTV camera or operative system where we run approximately 350 cameras. So we will get to a few questions later in terms of cameras, etc. But the relationship is of cardinal importance for the community of Mossel Bay. So the police have access to all the services. The only service that is not being pledged at this point in time is EMS, which is emergency medical services, but we're working on that as well. It's seen as a provincial function. So cardinal, and I think Kappie has said most of it, so well done to you, Kappie.
Yes. Just to second you, what you just raised, MMC. It's true that there should be a power to Municipal and police station because what we did witness is that from the camera that are on the robots, on the places, even the accident happening overnight, you're able to identify everything, the car that did hit, everything, you see, so which is good. I know always that's an interview why you always remember Thembi is working the people that who always willing to share the information, but we don't like that kind of interviews that become vetted. For instance, Warrant Kappie, we are supposed to come on radio. There's Warrant Kappie must send Shishan or someone else because of you want the closer person to come and talk. No, if we have to practice, must practice. If we want to teta, okay. How does the staff from the JOC and other municipal law enforcement officers collaborate with the SAPS in the JOC?
Well, I think what is quite important is the ability of the police. First of all, I need to say, like you've just said, we have Afrikaans-speaking people in the Joint Operations Centre, English-speaking and Xhosa-speaking people in the Joint Operations Centre. So often you get complaints and a person is not able to speak Xhosa, at least within the centre, that could be relayed in the correct manner. There's always somebody to help. So if you look at the collaboration, many of the instances are recorded, many of the footage comes through by way of the cameras, as you've rightfully said. and the operators have the ability to assist the South African Police Service in a big way. So there's a great collaboration. But maybe I should just focus on a different aspect, maybe just for now, is that, for instance, 117 fires, specifically in this area, was recorded in the month of January. 95 of those were actually spotted by CCTV operators.
Wow.
95 out of the 117 was reported by operators before it was even reported by the public and or in informal areas. So that places a total different spin on the assistance of cameras. Maybe I should also say that you see the cameras on the robots, and you see some of them on intersections, but that's not all. Cameras are also placed on high masts, and in KwaNongaba and Oslo, on some of the highlight street poles, the 18 to the 30 meters, there are also cameras installed. And we don't always want to explain and say where they are, but there are certainly sufficient cameras in some areas. That does not stop us from expanding even more. So, but what we had to do is we had to roll out high mast centers and or high sites to enable cameras to pull up the links to enable the South African Police Service to help with footage. So it's a long issue and a long explanation, but the cameras are certainly improving their work.
Okay, before we go to August, can you explain how it came about that Mossel Bay Municipality established K9 and the response units?
I'm going to start off by saying that I think we were privileged to receive outside the metro one of the K9 units. The provincial government has made provision for 2 other units as well, which is Olwethu and also Swartland. So Mossel Bay became the 3rd. And what is often said in the media is that the taxpayer is paying towards the K9 unit, which is not the case. It's been funded by province. And I can also say to the listeners that province feels so strongly about the efforts of the K9 in association with the police, ridiculing the situation with regards to drugs in our communities, that they've extended the grant for another 2 years. Kappie. So we will be able to soon have more dogs, and we will also have more funding to roll out within the community of Mossel Bay. So how did it come about? There was a need for it. The successes are imminent. With the South African Police Service, we often have operations, and one of the latest operations where we see 6,000 Mandrax tablets is just a example, or the 241 kilograms of dagga that was seized the other night through us and the South African Police Service. So we always say that our partners and the help to our partners is not because we want to do anything different or not assist the South African Police Service. That's exactly why we have the dog unit, to make sure that we cut off the inflow of drugs to our communities. So that's the important part.
Okay, what are their unique tasks exactly?
Well, we have different types of dogs. I think that is important to note, is that we do not have explosive dogs like the South African Police Service have. Okay. Explosive like an explosive. But that would come in the 4th year, Kappie. We will acquire a dog. But what is important is protected species like abalone, rhino horn, that can be detected, ammunition, and then of course narcotic substances. So hand in hand, that is what we work with the South African Police Service in terms of making sure that we handle those situations. The dogs is only a tool, and I think we are using them very effectively. But what is important, Olwethu, is that by May we would have 2 search and rescue dogs, which will be very valuable. The only 2 dogs there are, one is based in Nice and the other one in Cape Town. When we had the situation in George, we could not assist the South African Police Service because we didn't have the dogs to assist them. Okay. But yet, by end of May, Kappie, we will have them, and we will work hand in hand with the South African Police Service to make sure that we apply these dogs in the correct fashion. That doesn't only stop with the police, also correctional services also have dogs now in the prison services. So I think there's a big effort from all the partners to make sure we tackle the issues.
Right, because kakhulu ke masiye phaa kuMr August ke sike sive uMr August uba uMr August yintoni asiphathele yona ngoba ndiyacinga uba zininzi afeyisana nayo phaa whether umuntu angafuni ubhatala tikiti endleleni whether umuntu ongafuni ukumayimiswa yonke into iphaa kuye. Tata kunjani?
Siyaphila tata khonto man mandibulise kuwe ngibulise kubaphulaphuli and thank you for the opportunity ukuthi sibe lapha namhlanje sizovakala ukuhlalela.
Mr. August, because ndiyabona ke apha mandiyeke into positions eva ngawe uba kahle kahle ukwephi i-portfolio okanye i-department.
Okay, Tina, we are from the response unit, as the councillors already explained in the previous questions. We are basically, so to speak, together with the K9, the core backup of the SAPS.
Yes.
Whenever SAPS needs any form of assistance in terms of operations, from the municipality or law enforcement, or should I say from peace officers, because saying law enforcement is also a very limiting title. We are the guys that get called out alongside with the K9 unit to go and assist them. So I'm a superintendent in that division specifically.
Perfect. What action is the municipality allowed to take regarding unlawful and land occupation?
Okay, to answer that question, let me go to the Criminal Procedure Act, which is section 40, I think, of the Criminal Procedure Act, which states all of the crimes or the offences that a peace officer may act upon. In other words, one of which is if an offence happens in the presence of a peace officer, he may act in certain ways and enforce the law. Okay. So now, as peace officers, when you build a structure on interdicted municipal ground, it means you are transgressing. We on Pula umthetho, therefore we act based on that, and then there are many ways and steps that we take or things that we can do in order to deter the building and the expansion of unlawful land invasion.
Hey, that is very important. There is a lot of former settlement, and what I heard from municipality, they did try to identify the shacks so they must be able to build houses. And therefore, today you can't put the numbers. Tomorrow there's a new shack. Tomorrow there's a new shack. Wo Kapp, Rhythm City, Kuchindota, Giyani, all the places there's a shack.
Yeah, that's true. But then what I will say also, us, the response unit, we are a very, very young unit. I think it's only been 2 years that we've been actively being operational. And within the 2 years, I don't want to mention numbers now or figures, but it's more than, it's almost 100% reduction in the growth of because we've got drones that we fly over the informal settlements. We take pictures on a regular basis, we compare, we do patrols, we take pictures with our cell phones, we compare. We've got scouts that the municipality pays for, they compare. And based on that, even though it was difficult in the beginning to curb the issue, it has become much easier, and the more time has rolled by, the people have also started to get the idea that it's not okay to just build. There's processes to be followed. People have started to get educated by means of when we issue warnings, the message that we give through to them, when we issue fines, and the fact that you might lose your material up until you have to go to court and then maybe then get it back depending on what the court's ruling is with regards to your infrastructure.
Luckily, that because of your position is only English, very, I call it bold word of English. Otherwise, if it was easy like Councillor Kappie, they will try the way to find you because we are on a critical position. You know, when you deal with the people, some they want to build here, and they know that if you saw them, you will do something. You see, people, they always fight with the right people. But now, they don't know the position that you are in. They can build him in front of you. You see, like other gentlemen nearby, that's a dumping site, illegal dumping, that in Kuchindota. Just build a house on that deep. And municipal is struggling to clean that place. They just build the shack. And I'm glad that it was just drop a paper, say, you must take out the shack within 4 hours. And when we come back afternoon, there was no shack there. I saw that, okay, that's good. And the gentleman is working from the hospital. Imagine. Yeah. Okay, sir. Let's go further first, because I know I have a lot of things when I talk to the people like you. Can you explain how the processes work and then action can be taken?
Okay, the process will obviously start with the structure being identified, whether it be by CCTV or by patrols by us, or whether it's by patrols by the scouts, or whether it's by a whistleblower, because there are people amongst the community as well that gives us information with regards to illegal structures being erected. Because you'd find that it's people that are tax and rates payers, people who have to do things legally, and now the next guy just wants to occupy land and not have to go through the same scrutiny. So then those people would also report to us with regards to structures being illegally erected. So that's the first step of the process. The second step is we would obviously go out to the scene. Depending on the circumstances, if it's occupied, there's the PI Act, which prevents us to illegally evict people in a structure, especially if it's occupied. There's steps and procedures that must be followed in order to evict those people. The PI Act protects them. So in such an instant, we will take pictures, a full report will be made, and then also a fine will be issued with no amount. It's actually a subpoena that sends you to court, so that you have to go and explain yourself to the court, and then it's the court that will decide whether the structure gets demolished or not. And they take things into consideration like how long you've been staying there, the vulnerability of you people that are staying there, whether there's alternative accommodation for you, and a lot of other things that get taken into consideration. And then the other step that deviates from that one is if it's a structure that is not occupied, and there's proof of that it's not occupied, then we demolish it, whether you are there or not there. We will just issue you with a receipt, if not you, to the neighbor, and then when you come, we'll then still send you to court like we did with an occupied structure. And then depending on what the court's ruling is, you might get your material back, but either way you're not allowed to build there again.
Okay. I'm glad that both of you, you are on the social media and are supposed to come to you, but I will ask you, Sergeant Kapp, because you know this thing, the situation at the 𝐋𝐄𝐓'𝐒 police station has taken a hot topic. Can you perhaps tell how the municipality and the SAPS are working together to solve this issue?
Right, Olwethu, I think first of all, let me answer this question, because Warrant Officer Kapp will be in a very difficult position to answer that. Because he has to maintain his objectivity being a police officer.
Yes.
So let me first tell you how we feel as a municipality in terms of that. And I used to wear a blue uniform as well.
Yes.
And I used to be a station commander myself. So I really sit down and I look at the situation and I say, this is not what should be happening to police stations and police officers. This is not the way in which they should work. This is not what is expected of a police officer. So the municipality behind the scenes have been involved in various issues. And maybe the public do not know or is not aware of this, but behind the scenes, the municipality has done a few things in the last couple of weeks, and I will explain that very briefly. First of all is that we know that police stations and their rank structures are not what it's supposed to be. And we can argue the point that because a rank structure is coupled to specific reserves, logistical and manpower, and the municipality has asked that feasibility studies are being done at all the police stations in Mossel Bay. That letter has gone to the district general, or 𝐋𝐄𝐓'𝐒, like we would call it, and it's also gone to the provincial commissioner, where we are saying that these rank structures should be revised for a number of reasons: population expansion, informal settlements, a vast area, not sufficient police members, not sufficient police resources. And we look at totals, and we look at the census, and we look at job creation or non-job creation, and so we can carry on. We look at economic circumstances. So the municipality has been very proactive with regards to that. The municipality has also at some point, with a previous occasion, declared an intergovernmental dispute with regards to 𝐓𝐻𝐿, because 𝐓𝐻𝐿 is being serviced from 𝐂𝐻𝐿, and you can't expect 𝐓𝐻𝐿 to be serviced in that manner. So when General Reddy was still here, we had those conversations, and 𝐓𝐻𝐿 was reopened. Yet the demand on manpower, we cannot expect 𝐂𝐻𝐿 to service 𝐓𝐻𝐿 any longer. So that's something that we need to relook at as well. So I sound like a real politician, so we're now only getting to 𝐂𝐻𝐿. But 𝐂𝐻𝐿 land has always been made available by the municipality, and once again land has been made available again.
Okay.
And we're saying to the South African Police Service, it's not good enough that 𝐂𝐻𝐿 has been on the list for number 1 and then moved up to number 32 and number 33 on the list, and we're saying this is not good enough. So I can tell you from the national perspective is that the National Commissioner's Office has contacted the municipality and said, are you still in a position to donate the land? We know that it's public works that need to work with regards to the acquiring of the land and the building of the new police station. And I can tell you that there's a serious and a dedicated commitment from our side, and I've consulted with the National Commissioner's Office personally. So I don't want to dwell on that for too long, but we are saying it's atrocious the way in which we treat our police officers, and we expect them to work and allow them to work. So from a municipality's perspective, we've taken it up. We've made land available. We've had 2 sessions, Warrant Officer Kapp, that you might not be aware of, but certainly General Chitano is aware of this, and also the Provincial Commission, where we're saying this cannot continue this way. So hopefully, and we are moving on the situation where the departments are now talking at least to us, have required specific documents, and we are waiting for the South African Police Service to sign a specific agreement to enable the potential building of the police station. This has been going on for years, but we are finally there again, Olwethu, and I think it's a positive step in the right way to service what the community of 𝐂𝐻𝐿 desperately needs, and that is a quality police station with all the facilities that they should have. It is actually shocking to see in what circumstances these police officers have to work. And we support our colleagues in saying we will do everything within our power to make sure that they get the best.
Okay, that's good, that's good. The reason why I'm giving you a lot of applause is that because I've been crying for that police station. Every day when I'm going there, I go back to the offices and ask them why you're working on these conditions, you see, and at the same time you're expected to deliver.
Exactly.
You see, I'm glad that you take action. I'm glad. Okay, what next for you? Okay, just more visible patrons. You see, then I think it's only you that you can just go further. How does the SAPS and municipality work together to achieve this? Where's your
Visible policing is essential for the combating of crime and the prevention of crime. So we've seen it, rather than relying only on our neighborhood watches, people who put their lives on the line, that's walking, patrolling their streets, and we want to encourage the community to do so, because sometimes it's difficult to get to a certain scene with vehicles. But when you've got your members of the community doing patrols, doing beat, walking, then that is a deterrent to our criminals out there. But what is now better for us as SAPS, 𝐂𝐻𝐿 for instance, and SAPS in this area, is that the municipality, their guys, is also come on board when it comes to visibility with their patrols. And you cannot believe the respect, because of their professionalism, the way they are handling the communities, and the way they are interacting with the communities, the respect that these officers, they enjoy from the community. And we trust them. When we talk about visible policing, that they are not only representing themselves, but also the community, and also law enforcement in general. As I said, they are there to assist us, they are there to support us, and it's a beautiful partnership. You know, when it comes to a partnership, there needs to be that mutual respect amongst ourselves, and the professional way in which Superintendent August and his guys have been handling themselves is really, really something to behold, and we are really, really proud to be associated with them.
Okay. There's anything you can say?
Basically the same thing Warrant Officer Kappie said. Patrols are, to me, one of the most powerful tools that you can have as a law enforcer, because it's both a proactive and a reactive tool. By being frequently visible, as much visible as you can deter a lot of crime. Just by doing blue light patrols, for example, or just being visible in a marked vehicle, for example, or a recognizable vehicle, for example. And also when you are doing your detection work, just through patrols, you can trace a lot of suspects. You can see a lot of things. So it's a powerful tool as far as I'm concerned in terms of proactivity and reactivity. It's something that both we and the SAPS are doing quite frequently. It's our main tool.
It seems like you keep coming, Mister, because before you close everything, I used to say it's good to make it in 𝐋𝐿, because now I found out that on the number 8, we repeat same thing that we take from number 3. That's English, you see, because we did talk about cameras, we did talk about security, we did talk about extending, you see. English, guys. Okay. In closing, are there any further statement which regard to the community safety and the role even to community can play in this?
I'm going to start off by saying, Olwethu, thank you, Warrant Officer Kapp, that one of the aspects I think that we just need to deal with is we often get the situation where people feel that we are not rolling out services to their specific communities. They must give us time. We must understand that it's dependent on budget, and we must also remember that we're trying to set up, in the case of cameras, we need to look at high points. I saw one of the questions were that we need to speak a little bit about in terms of successes. And I think what we often try and do is we say, but you know, the camera is the alpha and omega with regards to everything. As Kappie has pointed out, is that you need visible policing on the ground. The camera is just a tool. So many of the communities are saying, but when are we getting cameras? We don't see cameras. We have to understand that there's a plan. We need to understand that it's rolled out into specific wards. We need to understand that we need to link it up. We have various examples of good examples in terms of the progress made with regards to camera footage, for instance. And often the detectives use the footage that we've generated, or the cameras have generated, to assist them with the investigation. Some of them are murders, some of them are culpable homicides, some of them are stashing of drugs, some of them are fires, some of them are whatever. So the operators do this 12 hours a day, you know, on a shift, 24 hours a day, and it's all reported. And from the police side, we get 6 to 7 dossiers every day where we assist, if possible, and there's footage to assist them. But to get back to your question, I can only see that we've always had a great relationship. It is important that there's a united front between us and the South African Police Service. It's important that we have the buy-in from the community. It's important that the community trust us, the police, the law enforcement officers, and the people that deliver services within the constituency of Mossel Bay. Sometimes people do not understand, Olwethu, is that we have 2,077 square kilometers to cover. It's a huge area. And if you look at the personnel strengths that we and the South African Police Service, it is under pressure. And therefore we are also appealing to the public that the public must also help. The public must also join neighbourhood watches. They must also be responsible and act within the CSFs, the CPFs that are being created by the police structures. So important that we have valuable input from our communities. The police and us alone cannot do that.
Okay. MMC, we are closing it now because I see that safety is the responsibility of all of us and the community at large. Therefore, for Tambo FM, what I can say to you, please, what you did from my column, the main thing that you can put for the safety other thing, it's a lights. That street lights one, not the one, the small one, the big one that you put at that side. Put one at close to what call it Statler Street. Put other one from Zola. and put other one from close to New Rest. That put that on that side, because the small one they break it. You see, throw the illegal connection. But these ones that you put from my client is the good one, because you can able to put the camera on that one. So when you have a budget or you present some budget request, you must make sure that Atla Park needs that kind of lights. It's that big one.
Noted.
Because even the police, they are afraid to go to patrol that side because it's dark. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Olwethu.